Hey you guys, and welcome back. Today I am doing kind of like an updated book reading list. An updated reading list is what I'm trying to say. So I did one of these at the beginning of quarantine, and I have read a lot of the books from that list already, and I feel like I've talked about them before as well. So I wanted to do an updated book list because I have a whole bunch of new books that I want to read. Also some from my previous list that I haven't read yet. And this is also going to be a mini book haul because I did pick up some new books, which I'm so excited about. I don't have all of the books with me because one of them hasn't arrived yet. I ordered the new books off Chapters, so it's still shipping. Oh, and one of them I have to borrow from someone because it's for my book club and I just don't have it and I wasn't gonna buy it, so yeah. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoy this video. Thank you so much for watching, and let's just go ahead and get started. Okay, so here is my pile of books. So I'm going to go through these one by one for you guys. Starting with the book that I'm currently reading. This was from my previous book list video. It's Villette by Charlotte Bronte. Not my absolute favorite book. I'm about almost halfway through it, and it's really hard for me to finish, but I don't want to give up. I want to keep reading it. It started to get better, but the beginning I felt was like really boring. I'm just not the biggest fan of Charlotte Bronte. I didn't like Jane Eyre. Well, I've only read Jane Eyre, but I didn't like it. I do like Wuthering Heights by Emily Bronte, but I'm finding Villette is more like Jane Eyre, and it's not my favorite. Like, it's not my cup of tea, but I'm gonna keep reading it because I just don't like leaving books unfinished. So anyway, this is the first one on my list. Next one is Great Expectations. This was also on my list for my last book list video. It's by Charles Dickens. I've actually never read it. I have seen the movie and I know the story, but I've never actually given it a chance. So I'm gonna read it this summer and see how it goes. I think I mentioned it before, but I'm not the biggest fan of Charles Dickens's writing style. I just find he's a little bit wordy, but I feel like Great Expectations is one of his better ones. Like, there's Tale of Two Cities, David Copperfield, and then I would loop in. I haven't read it yet, but I think I've heard that Great Expectations is also great. Last one is also from my previous book list. Haven't read it yet. It's huge. I need to start it this summer because I feel like I'll be reading it for at least 6 months. And it's War and Peace by Leo Tolstoy. I really like Anna Karenina, and I don't think this is the same at all, but it is the same author, and I don't know why I've never read it. It's just been sitting in my bookshelf. I feel like you have to read War and Peace at some point in your life, so I might as well read it now, I guess. Hopefully I will start it this summer, at least like start it. The next books are all books that were not on my previous list. So the first one I want to talk about is one that I don't have. It's called The Plague, and I think it's by Albert Camus. Camus. It tells a story from the point of view of an unknown narrator of a plague sweeping the French Algerian city of Oran. It was published in 1947. It was just a book that was chosen by my book club, so that's why I'm going to read it. I don't know if it's like a book I'm gonna like yet, so I didn't end up purchasing it. Just like by reading the description, I'm like, I probably should just borrow this one, and if I like it, I'll purchase it. But I am going to be reading that one this summer. Then another one that I'll be reading is kind of a different style. It's called Day of the Jackal by Frederick Forsyth. It's a thriller, and I think it's about, it's trying to catch a murderer. I don't know, I've just never really read. I usually read like the classics or similar things to that. Books like Catcher in the Rye and The Bell Jar and things like that. Like, that's what I typically read. So I thought it would be good to kind of pick something that was a little bit unusual for me. Hopefully I will like it and actually finish it and not look at the ending first. I feel like that's my problem with like mystery books, is I always look at the ending first, which is just not recommended. I also have this one, which my friend just lent me to borrow. It's called Flowers for Algernon, and it's apparently one of the saddest books. I have this like book called Tequila Mockingbird, and it's like a bunch of cocktails based off literature, and then they had like some drinking games at the back. It was like, take a shot every time this happens in this book. At the very end, it was like, never stop drinking while reading Flowers for Algernon. So I feel like it's going to be very sad. I am excited to read it. It's by Daniel Keyes. Again, I really like reading books that I haven't read before, so this list is kind of good because nothing from this list is a repeat for me. Like, it's all new books that I get to read. Then for my book haul, I purchased 3 new books. First one that I purchased was The Secret Life of Bees by Sue Monk Kidd. We're actually going to be reading this for our book club as well. I'm really excited to read this. I feel like it's going to be a really good one. It's been on my list for like 2 years now, and I've just never went and purchased it, so I finally did, and I can't wait to read it. I hope I'm gonna like it because I did end up purchasing it. But yeah, I love the feeling of I like the feeling of old books too, but I really like the feeling of new books. Like, even the smell, they just smell so good. It's yeah, it's just like such a comforting feeling. And then one book that I don't have with me, but I did purchase it, still on its way, is The Heart's Invisible Fury by, I think it's by John Boyne. Yeah, John Boyne, I think that's how you say his name. A bit new. It was published in 2017. I can't find a good description of it without that doesn't give it away. I don't know much about this book, but I purchased it because it was on my list for a while and I really wanted to read it. And so yeah, that one is also on my list and I'm very excited to read it. Let me know if you've read any of these books, if you've liked them, or if you have any recommendations for me based off what I've just talked about. And the last book that I purchased was this one, which is called Your Illustrated Guide to Becoming One with the Universe by Yumi Sakugawa. I hope I said that right. This is more of a kind of like a self-help book. It's hardcover, which is really nice, and it's not like a novel or anything. Filled with pictures, and it has lessons in it, so I think it gives you like lessons of how to become one with the universe. I don't know, I just thought it would be kind of nice to purchase this one. It was actually on my quarter life crisis book list, but I still feel like, even though I think I'm over my quarter life crisis, I feel like it was still a book I wanted to read, and I think it'll just be important throughout my entire life. So yeah, it's more like a coffee table book for me. Like, I'm not gonna sit down and just read through the whole book. Probably just leave it on my coffee table and then read it one lesson a day or something. But anyway, that's the last book. So that is my updated summer book list and kind of a mini book haul. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know what books are on your list. If you like to read, what books will you be reading this summer? If you want more book videos in the future, let me know. I love books. I love to read. Other than that, thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram and Twitter. Please subscribe if you would like to see more videos, and I'll see you in my next one.